Testing.
Okay, it's charging.
We're recording. Okay, I want to welcome you guys here to Mystic in the Medium. I'm Reverend Dr. Louis Gage, and this is Reverend Christopher Thames. As Christopher said, we're trying to get away from labels, so we're the mystic in the medium, but you'll see during the talk that we kind of mix our religions, our philosophies, things do mix. What I believe in, he might not believe in guides, but as spiritualist I do. I believe we're followed by loved ones and people to help us, guardian angels, you might call them. And Christopher believes in your higher self, but I believe in higher self too. I just believe you have little helpers too. Sometimes your higher self gets tired. So you need little helpers when you're exhausted. I'm gonna let Christopher do the bell. You're gonna do your teachings first, right?
Sure.
All right, let Louis ring the bell. Ring the dinner bell.
So, without a mic, you want to hold the mic? Can I give you a job? One might say saved by the bell, but as you listen to the sound is beautiful Tibetan bell. Allow it to remind you of the sound that rests within you. Listening to the sound that silence makes. There is an essence that binds and sustains and is all life. This essence, this living presence, is the oneness that you are. The oneness that you. Shapeless, formless, and eternal are you, with no boundary, with no container. You were never born, so you can never die. This is the oneness that you are. This is the oneness that you are. With nothing to grow into and nothing to become, you are all life. You are all life. There is no separation between you and me. The air that we breathe, the sun that shines upon us, or the earth that we walk on. No separation at all. All life is one. Always has been and always will be. And this oneness that is the air and the earth, this oneness that is the seasons for the harvest and the laughter of the children, this is the oneness you are. This is the oneness that you are. This cannot be taught to you, for this is not to be understood. You see, this is only to be experienced, appreciated, and realized. Accept this and be free. Accept this and be free. Accept this. All of this. All of this. And be. Just be. Just be. Just be. Take a nice deep breath. Blow it away. So, as Louis and I have known each other for a long time, we're always in a state with each other of discovery. So I like to take good friends, people that care about each other, are always discovering each other. We assume nothing about each other. When I wake up with my wife in the morning, I discover her each day.
I was going to say, I see Lou.
I wake up with my wife in the morning and I see Lou.
I'm worried there for a moment.
No, that would be a bad dream. I would still say no, we still move into a state of discovery.
Floating.
Who is this amazing creature I get to wake up with this morning? I have 3 girls. I have 8 grandchildren. My 9th will be born in August. Life is just an amazing experience. And today's teaching for me is really dedicated to them, because it's really their world that we're preparing for them now. So with each breath that I live in this life, I look to leave it a better place for all of those who come after me. So, as far as guides, angels, all of that type of stuff, just to clear things up. It's not that I don't believe in them. I see things. I've seen stuff. I've been clairvoyant all my life, and clairaudient. I see guides, angels, ascended masters, all this type. I have all these experiences since I've been a child, and I see them as symbols, metaphorical archetypes, just like Jungian archetypes that sit in the edges of your subconscious mind. And when you no longer use the archetype, just like to clear it up maybe even a little bit more. Ancient Egypt, we think, was polytheistic. They had all these gods and goddesses. They didn't have all the gods and goddesses. They had one. Amen. That's where Amen comes from. Amen Ra is what all that was. That was the one. Okay? And the gods and goddesses in ancient Egypt now, according to unorthodox, which I've looked at for 30 years, but is now just beginning to get some consensus to it. They didn't believe in all gods and goddesses. All the gods and goddesses were Jungian archetypes set up in the temples devoted to certain qualities and attributes that everyone was to develop, just like certain qualities and attributes that people were supposed to avoid. Virtues and perversions, right? Just like in Hinduism, people say, oh, look at all the gods and goddesses. No, there's not all the gods and goddesses. That's just your level of understanding. What it really is metaphor and symbolism for the archetypes that occur within our own consciousness. So Saint Germain, Katumi, the Archangel Michael, Lucifer, these are all archetypes within your realm, within your inner domain. And I certainly don't believe in them in the way that most people would run to them and access them, because I've made friends with them. And let me tell you, one of the greatest lessons I've learned about traveling into the other realms as we begin today's teaching. And Louis, I don't think I've ever told this story in a class. This is pretty funny. Years ago, and I mean years ago when I was a little kid, back in the Paleolithic period, okay, and I loved watching Bugs Bunny cartoons. Who didn't when you were a kid? Roadrunner was awesome. This is what Roadrunner. And Bugs was always in a problem. He was always getting into problems and out of problems, right? And Bugs found himself in this situation where he was being chased by this monster. And this monster was this big, red, hairy, it looked like Cousin Ed from the Addams Family, and it had sneakers for feet. And this thing was terrifying. And it would have arms that would come out of the furriness of it, and it was chasing Bugs. And Bugs was running, and run through this door, and then run through the next door. And the thing was catching closer and closer and closer to Bugs. He solved the problem. all of a sudden you realize that if he stopped and dove into the monster, then the monster would go away. And I don't know how he knew that. It wasn't explained. But what happened was he turned, dove right into the monster, and the monster dissolved away completely. So I realized, not only the adversaries that chase us through our lives, testing our strength and our fortitude and our conviction, but also the allies that stand with us and advise us, counsel us, and direct us. Perhaps all of these are simply reflections of ourselves. And when we no longer need the reflection, when we're ready to be that light unto ourselves, then I don't need to talk with Jesus or St. Germain or Uncle Bernie. I can just realize that they all live within my heart. Because if you really want to see the second coming of Jesus, just go look in the mirror. That's the beginning of the age that we're living in right now. So, I didn't want you to feel as though I was ever demeaning anything that anybody does, because I understand full well the layers of technology, spiritual technology, that are involved in doing what we do. So how do you want to begin this non-stop extravaganza about living in this new world? Yeah, go ahead.
You want me to scare him first?
Scare him first. I'll sit back and see what else I can get into.
Question with what Christopher said. I mean, a lot of us believe in guides, guardian angels, protectors, people that follow us. So you be nice. Our loved ones that follow us also, that touch base with us and help us and encourage us throughout our life. So we're always kind of looking at that endeavor as far as spiritual or spiritualist is where the roots and I come from. But I'm kind of mixing into other things. I truly believe that you are in contact with your higher self, which higher self is the one that's going to answer your most questions. Is you. You are the one that's going to answer the questions about your existence, your vibration. The guides are helpers. They're to kind of usher you. But they are not there to majorly direct you. They're to usher, to get you to where you need to be. Kind of push you down the path. And as we go into this new age, the new age that we're talking about, is the question of understanding that we want to give the power back to you. To you. As I said in the Lyceum this morning, I said in the Lyceum and in these things, you have the power, you are divine, you are it. By giving our power away, we allow ourselves to be stopped on the path. Stopped. So by collecting our power, by getting our power back, talking to your higher self, figuring out, because the only thing bad with guides are people will get guide fixated. They will tell themselves that that guide isn't here, that person isn't here, I won't be able to talk to myself, I won't be able to do anything. And you get guide fixated or fixated on a situation. I'm a true believer that if the master teachers want to speak to me, they'll speak to me. They'll speak to me because I am divine. I am that connection to spirit. But as guides, as we move into the new age here, people are going to start to move away from mediums. People out here in Cassadaga don't like me saying that, but you guys are not going to need mediums to get you in contact with your spirits or your people or your higher self. You'll be able to do it yourself. What you're going to need from Christopher, me, and other people here going forward is more of teachers to help you, instruct you, to get you to where you need to be. You need the teachers to help you. to get you there. You're not going to need me to say, well, you know, I've got your Uncle Joe here. No, 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 no. That doesn't, where are you going? Where are you going to be? I kind of figure that I'm getting older now. I want to know where I get off on the bus on the spirit side of life. I hope it's just in a good part of town. That's what I'm hoping. So I want to know where I'm getting off the bus. Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? And as we get older, spiritualism has always been an older religion. It's been something where people that are older get pulled into this religion because they want to know where they're going. They want to know everybody's over there. Somebody's going to meet them when they get there. Something's going to happen when they close their eyes here and end up there. So as older adults, we want to get a roadmap of where we're going. And with this, it's like I've been doing this work, God, ever since I've been a little kid. And the question here is, understanding that you have the power to place yourself anywhere. It's what your thoughts are and how you perceive spirit is what you're going to see when you enter the spirit world. If you want to see something in the spirit world, if you don't believe it, if I believe that Seth is sitting down next to a lake and he's fishing, and I'm going to go over the other side and talk to Seth. And then Christopher goes, I don't believe in Seth. I'm not going to talk to Seth. Well, he won't see Seth, but I will. It's what I believe in, what I have a connection to, is what I see when I leave this earth planet. Working with nursing and working in nursing homes and working for people that have been dying in hospice for a number of years of my life, where people see at the end of their life is what they see on the other side. I had a gentleman here when I was sitting with him, and he was getting ready to go, but he knew that his brother was going to come for him with Jesus across the crystal sea. So when I touched in with him before his passing, sure enough, there he was sitting there waiting for his boat. Sure enough, there's a boat coming. And this boat was coming ashore, but no Jesus, only his brother. And then he touched my arm. He says, you've been so good and have been so patient with me. Why don't you come with me? And you could feel all the energy draining out of my body. I'm going, oh, no, I don't want to go yet. I don't want to leave here yet. Don't take me. But the question is, everybody has a different way of passing. It's where your thoughts are and how you perceive the spirit world. And as medium and as a mystic and a medium, we see it kind of the same. We're going to end up over there. We're going to do what we feel like we were doing here. It's just waking up in the same kind of environment. If you were miserable here, you're going to be miserable there. If you don't feel good here, you're probably not going to feel as good there. So you have to set your vibration before you leave here. That's why the enlightening yourself, raising your vibration, getting yourself to a higher situation in your life, that's going to help you on the spirit side of life. That's going to help you to manage this lifetime and that one. Because we're all going there. They haven't had anybody live forever here yet. So we're all going to end up on the spirit side of life. But how we arrive is the question. And with my guides, it's like I've had Jeff through many lifetimes. Jeff has followed me through many lifetimes. He is my gatekeeper, my guide, my protector. But he has followed me through lifetimes. So I've known Jeff ever since I've been 3 years old. He appeared in my room when I was a little kid, and he's never left. He's never left. He has always been there. Always. Now the other guides have changed and moved and rearranged, but Jeff has always been at my side. So I know Jeff. But it's probably, I know Jeff majorly because I am a twin. My twin brother died at birth. And I said that Jeff is my twin. My twin brother. That is in the spirit world. And he has followed me and stays with me through this lifetime. That's what I believe. So, I'll let you talk.
All right, I'm going to tell you a story. You don't have to be Kreskin. And for those of you who don't know who Kreskin is, he was a great prestidigitation kind of guy. Mystic, psychic, okay? Card tricks on Johnny Carson, all kinds of stuff, right? Mind control, bending spoons. But all that means is all you have to do is look around, you can see that everything is changing beneath your feet.